Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this is a round in the Dezpada. After getting kicked around by it yesterday in the Conroy jig, and I decided I'd take it out since I haven't used it since it got buffed. The buffs aren't bad. They upped the damage on a lot of things. They gave it immobile firing for its so it's harder to interrupt its missiles and its rapid fire beam cannons. But yeah, it's not bad. Um, I will say though, this is a special battle on port base, which is the one where the bases and waypoints are all kind of shoved off to the side where nobody ever goes on the ordinary map. And I'll be honest, I don't say this about many maps in the game, but I hate this map. I hate this setup. This is I have not played a version of this special battle where I did not get swamped at some point or another by the enemy team. And yeah, just was of the rounds I played, this was the one where I actually did okay, and I was playing kind of aggressively because I was already in a bad mood from the last attempt I made at this. So yeah, I don't like this one. I don't like this setup. I do not recommend it. Ordinary port base, I like. It's always been fun. This, anti-fun. Very much anti-fun. And I decided to actually try and protect our heavy Gyaradoga from the Johnny Gelgoog. Forgot it uses the overhead swing for its double saber attack and not the big wide swing, so that didn't come to anything. But I am at least keeping them off our support, one of our supports, so hooray, and such. But yeah, a lot of times, as I tend to do when there's a cloud of smoke, I just fire, and if there's something between me and the target, oh well. But yeah, it's like I said, it's handling pretty well, and it's not bad. And yeah, like I said, this round went okay. I forget which version of the Gaza that is. I think the E. A lot of Gazas out there, but yeah. So since it is very stoppable with most of my tool set, I was able to lay into it pretty well, but just was not when it had help that there was only so much I could do, of course. I forgot the mass production Zeta was at 550. That is a fun suit. I haven't used that in forever. I need to pick it up again. But yeah, we are actually in the lead, which is nice. Yeah, somebody said capture beacon, which I didn't do. I should have done, but I didn't do. I was busy thinking, okay, well, nobody captured at the beginning, which would have been, my preference. But yeah, just out. Like I've said before, when we used to do like hide and seek or things like that, and or guess who's in what mobile suit, I used to give it away constantly because whenever I'd get shot, I'd sit here and go ow, and that would that gives it away, kind of. But yeah, I still feel like I understand why it's not more effective, but I still feel like the Psyrod, the Psychomu controlled heat rod, should be a little better than it is. It locks on, it does okay damage, it does not do any of the things heat rods normally do in terms of like heavy stagger or anything like that, which, a ranged, easily locked on heavy stagger would be overbearing. I'll freely admit that. But at the same time, it just feels like there might have been better ways to execute that attack if it can't do, if the heat rod can't do heat rod things. I don't think it even jams radar. I'm not 100% sure on that one. It might. But yeah, and this is just me getting stuck on the terrain. Yeah, I should have been able to go through there, but my arm shields were, just way too big. Let's see, number 3 is taking the point. That is good. We have a lead, and here comes that Gaza once again. So beams for the first heat rods, which it managed to dodge, and beams for the Gaza. Also, a Psychomu attack that only works best on stationary objects is just, that's kind of defeating the entire purpose. But yeah, like I said, this was this was this round came out okay, but yeah, it was just very frustrating. It doesn't help that I had to call off recording today because with Salty because just the weather jumped up in temperature a lot, and all the plants went, hello, here's all the pollen forever. And then some more criminal next door decided to mow the lawn on top of that. So yeah, my sinuses were just, jettisoning everything, and it was not pleasant. So yeah, but let's see. And just voided my brain by complaining, which is how it usually seems to work. So but yeah, I'm just trying to keep my distance because it's just as you saw with me getting stuck on the train previously, it is just really stupid easy to get caught up on things, especially with the Dezpada being very, very wide. It's not even a very big mobile suit. It just has, just very wide binders on the arms. So, but yeah, other than that, my brother really enjoyed the second Hathaway movie. He said he's probably going to start getting back into UC Gundam for the first time in a while. So, mission accomplished. Hathaway production team, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it when I can. That'll probably be when it hits, home viewing in some fashion or other. But let's see. And can I? Okay, yeah, I remember that. I was not expecting the splash from those missiles to actually hit that Gaza. I don't know if it steered into them or if it was just luck or lag, but yeah, that went really well. And there's the Johnny Gelgoog once again, which it took me till about now in the match to recognize it was the Johnny Raiden high mobility. And I recognize it because it has both the giant bazooka and the grenade launcher, and I'm pretty sure the Johnny is the only one that does that. So, and there the splash did not work the way I expected it to, which just GBO2 things, just entirely GBO2 things. But yeah, we managed to keep Johnny off of the supports, and we've got a really good solid lead going into the last minute. It might still be losable, but the enemy team's really going to have to work for it. I thought I was locked on, but the lock-on disagreed. I think I released it as I was recovering from a boost, which, yeah, there's quite a few Gundam games where trying to use your charge attacks as you land from a boost just does not work. And I'm trying to get around the GAN to provide support, but I am just doing a bad job, and luckily I'm not hitting it in the back with anything that's going to be too detrimental to it, but I was definitely not helping either. I tried using the GAN after this, hangered it and outfitted it and everything, and again, on this map, it was a disaster. I might try it again on a different map. I think I'd like to give it a go on Massive Impact Site, because there's plenty of places to hide. But, yeah. One thing I don't think that... I think we talked about the GAN before on buffs we'd like to see, and I don't think we said at the time, but I'd like to see is, since the GAN's bombs are classified as hide bombs, I'd kind of like to see them work the way that the dummy balloons on the Gundam Mark II and Super Gundam do, in that you launch them and you're off the radar and they take your place. But yeah, I managed to do 142,000 damage with this thing on this round, so I'm pretty pleased with that. 4 and 2, second overall, 3,400 points. I'm going to take it. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2. We will be back soon with more. Till next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later. Okay, so yeah, first off, they have given the Despada 2,000 more hit points at level 1. Upper levels get more, or get similar enhancements, let's say. It has damage control level 1, so a little bit more resistant to build stun. Damage control level 2 for the level 2 unit. That's not bad. Yeah, immobile fire system has been given, so it's harder to interrupt it when it is firing its stationary weapons like the missiles and the double beam guns. I feel like the higher levels of that also provide defense, but I do not remember for sure. It also has double dodge roll level 2, and the level 2 version gets a higher level version of W pack binder special cushioning, which yeah, we'll get to that in a second, but they actually increased the effect of the level 1 version too. The main beam cannons for, yeah, the single shot main beam cannons, power increased from 1,000 to 1,150. Man, words are giving me trouble today. I blame the sinuses. Uh, Cooldown time between shots shortened from 4.5 seconds to 3.5 seconds. Uh, Projectile speed increased, and weapon swap time was shortened. And yeah, they definitely do more damage now. I was doing like 3,000 on a set on a full hit, so I think it fires 4 beams in all. So counting beam defense, that's a number that makes sense. The standard beam saber power at level 1 was increased from 2,000 to 2,200, with upper levels also getting increased. The head Vulcans, which I used some, but probably not enough, their rate of fire and build stun were both increased. The Despatada beam saber, double beam saber's downswing was increased in power, and the level 2 sabers were increased at the base power was increased. Um, un, as Unless I was doing something wrong, which I do, uh, I think you only get one swing out of the double sabers, so just be aware of that. The small missiles, the power went from 250 to 280 at level 1, higher build stun, and quicker swap time. The stationary version of the beam cannon, the rapid fire version, the heat rate was reduced, projectile speed increased, and the amount of time you are stuck in place after firing was shortened. And the level 2 got an extra 25 damage per shot. Large missiles got an extra 150 damage per missile, went from 1,200 to 1,350. Higher build stun, and time until the missiles start accelerating was shortened. And yeah, the binder special cushioning skill at level 1, damage reduction went from 50% to 60%, and the amount of stagger that they can reduce has been increased. So yeah, if you get hit in those arm shields, that you will take less damage now and you are harder to stun. Presumably at level 2, those numbers will also go up. At 550, the Dezpada was winning 41.9% of the time, as opposed to the standard, the average across all generals being 50.2%. Rival win rate was 35% against the also general type average of 50.2. Was doing 66,000 damage on average versus the general average of 84,000, which, man, yeah, I did well over both of those numbers, so happy about that. And MS losses were up. 3.3 is the average for generals at 550. 3.6 is where the Despada was at. 600 numbers get worse. The general type average win rate is lower there, but the Despada's is much lower. It's like 0.6% lower for the average, 49.6 versus the 550, 50.2. And the Despada drops like a whole 4% to 37.9% win rate. Somehow it only dropped 2% of rival win rate, which is interesting. It average rival win rate for generals overall is 49.9%. Damage dealt is actually lower than the 550. It went down to 63,000, which is significantly worse because the average for generals goes up to 91,000 at 600 cost. So yeah. And MS losses are a little higher at 600 for generals, 3.4 on average, and the Despada was also the same amount higher, 3.7. So yeah, like 1/10 of a mobile suit lost across the board higher at 600. But yeah, pretty good. Pretty good set of buffs, I think, and it handles fairly well. And only took me a couple rounds of frustration to get something I liked with it. And seriously, who mows their lawn on an air quality warning day?